as a vehicle for gathering and deploying, if you will, resources to make things happen in our town. These days, we look for partners. We have ideas, we have vision, and we have a certain amount of horsepower, and we, Richard Crow, whose son was the singer here, for example, is a construction and engineering professional. We depend on Richard to do the kind of construction work that we need to do to replace our old and crumbling water system, for example. And we have many others. Leslie Cabote, who is our chief spokesperson and is a board member of the Development Fund, is a Stanford-educated organizational and planning expert. She is our spark plug. She knows how to pull our community together. Well, so on and so forth. And we have friends and partners that are crucial to all of this, to helping us make our vision come true, realistically, bit by bit, and by fits and starts, frankly. The Development Fund is the vehicle that allows that to happen. With the aid, for example, of the Billings Community Foundation, and a terrific partner to help us with our fiscal management, for example. We have friends in the community that the film doesn't have time to acknowledge. Our neighboring ranchers are terrific partners for us. The Padlock Ranch and the friends that were mentioned early along, Jim and Courtney Scott of the Scott Family Foundation. They're terrific. Let's be inclusive about the way we think about this. Now, about scalability, I think yes. Number one, I think if you bear in mind that the process has to be organic, meaning it has to come from the grassroots, from the people. That's how we started. We started with a bunch of old geezers deciding that they wanted to clean up the town, so they got out their rakes and hoes and lawnmowers, and it's built from that.
Family, to provide help in your community with your money that you earn, putting those dollars back into your economy. You start building that pride, people start providing for their families, well then you see all these adverse effects of government policies and generational poverty go down, because now I could feed my family. Now I could put money in for gas to make it places and take my kids or my family.
They come in, they say, I'd like to start a business, here's my idea, can I get a loan or can I get a grant? And so I sit them down and I start talking to them about the process that they need to go through to develop a business. And that process, there's a lot to it. But what I tell them is that we're here to help you walk through every piece of that business and get you to the point where you're bankable or you can get a grant. Working on his house, I was doing electrical work for him when I worked at HIP back in 2004. He was 88 years old at the time. And he would come in, drive out, come back in, drive out. I mean, he had more energy than I did at 88. And I was working in the basement trying to run some lines, and he come downstairs and he was looking at it, and he said, you know, when I was a kid, when I was 6 years old, he said they sent me to Flandreau. He said, my mom bought me a brand new luggage, and it had a little lock on it, a little key. And so we packed all my stuff on that, in that luggage, and we locked it. She handed me that key. She said, put this in your pocket. I understand electricity. And that's kind of how, you know, it's funny, but it's kind of how, especially our people go through that process, natives, because we haven't had that exposure. A lot of us, again, we've been kind of stuck in time while everybody else evolved from generation that has started things, has started